But sometimes virtue starves while vice is fed. What then is the reward of virtue? Bread that vice may merit, 'tis the price of toil. The knave deserves it when he tills the soil. The knave deserves it when he tempts the main, where folly fights for kings or dives for gain. The good man may be weak, be indolent, nor is his claim to plenty but content. But grant him riches, your demand is o'er. No, shall the good want health, the good want power? Add health and power and every earthly thing. Why bounded power? Why private? Why no king? Nay, why external for internal given? Why is not man a god and earth a heaven? Who asks and reason thus will scarce conceive God gives enough while he has more to give. Immense the power, immense were the demand. Say, at what part of nature will they stand? What nothing earthly gives or can destroy, the soul's calm sunshine and the heartfelt joy, is virtue's prize. A better would you fix than give humility a coach and six, justice a conqueror's sword, or truth a gown, or public spirit its great cure, a crown. Weak, foolish man, will heaven reward us there with the same trash mad mortals wish for here? The boy in man an individual makes, yet sighest thou now for apples and for cakes. Go like the Indian in another life, expect thy dog, thy bottle, and thy wife. As well as dreams such trifles are assigned as toys and empires for a godlike mind. Rewards that either would to virtue bring no joy, or be destructive of the thing. How oft by these at 60 are undone the virtues of a saint at 21. To whom can riches give repute or trust, content or pleasure, but the good and just? Judges and senates have been bought for gold, esteem and love were never to be sold. O fool, to think God hates the worthy mind, the lover and the love of humankind, whose life is healthful and whose conscience clear, because he wants £1,000 a year. Honor and shame from no condition rise. Act well your part, there all the honor lies. Fortune in men has some small difference made. One flaunts in rags, one flutters in brocade. The cobbler aproned and the parson gowned, the friar hooded and the monarch crowned. What differ more, you cry, than crown and cowl? I'll tell you, friend, a wise man and a fool. You'll find if once the monarch acts the monk, or cobbler like the parson will be drunk. Worth makes the man, and want of it the fellow. The rest is all but leather or prunella, stuck o'er with titles and hung round with strings, that thou mayest be by kings or whores of kings. Boast the pure blood of an illustrious race, in quiet flow from Lucrece to Lucrece. But by your father's worth, if yours you rate, count me those only who were good and great. Go, if your ancient but in noble blood has crept through scoundrels ever since the flood. Go and pretend your family is young, nor own your fathers have been fools so long. What can ennoble sots or slaves or cowards? Alas, not all the blood of all the Howards. Look next on greatness, say where greatness lies. Where but among the heroes and the wise? Heroes are much the same, the points agreed, from Macedonia's madmen to the Swede. The whole strange purpose of their lives, to find or make an enemy of all mankind. Not one looks backward, onward still he goes, yet ne'er looks forward farther than his nose. No less alike the politic and wise, all sly, slow things with circumspective eyes. Men in their loose, unguarded hours they take, not that themselves are wise, but others weak. But grant that those can conquer, these can cheat. 'Tis phrase absurd to call a villain great, who wickedly is wise or madly brave, is but the more a fool, the more a knave. Who in noble ends by noble means obtains, or failing smiles in exile or in chains, like good Aurelius let him reign, or bleed like Socrates, that man is great indeed. What's fame? A fancied life, another's breath, a thing beyond us, even before our death. Just what you hear you have, and what's unknown the same, my lord, if Tully's or your own. All that we feel of it begins and ends in the small circle of our foes or friends. To all beside is much an empty shade, and Eugene living as a Caesar dead. Alike or when or where they shone or shine, or on the Rubicon or on the Rhine. A wit's a feather and a chief a rod, an honest man's the noblest work of God. Fame but from death a villain's name can save, as justice tears his body from the grave. When what the oblivion better were resigned is hung on high to poison half mankind. All fame is foreign, but of true desert, plays round the head, but comes not to the heart. One self-approving hour whole years outweighs, of stupid starers and of loud huzzas. And more true joy Marcellus exiled feels than Caesar with a senate at his heels. In part superior what advantage lies, tell, for you can, what is it to be wise. 'Tis but to know how little can be known, to see all others' faults and feel our own. Condemned in business or in arts to drudge, without a second or without a judge. Truce would you teach or save a sinking land, all fear, none aid you, and few understand. Painful preeminence yourself to view, above life's weakness and its comforts too. Bring then these blessings to a strict account, make fair deductions, see to what they mount, how much of other each is sure to cost, how each for other oft is wholly lost, how inconsistent greater goods with these, how sometimes life is risked and always ease. Think, and if still the things thy envy call, say, wouldst thou be the man to whom they fall? To sigh for ribbons, if thou art so silly, mark how they grace Lord Umbra or Sir Billy. Is yellow dirt the passion of thy life? Look but on Grypus or on Grypus's wife. If parts allure thee, think how Bacon shined, the wisest, brightest, meanest of mankind. Or ravished with the whistling of a name, see Cromwell, damned to everlasting fame. If all united thy ambition call, from ancient story learn to scorn them all. There in the rich, the honored, famed, and great, see the full scale of happiness complete. In hearts of kings or arms of queens who lay, how happy those to ruin these betray. Mark by what wretched steps their glory grows, from dirt and seaweed as proud Venice rose. In each how guilt and greatness equal ran, in all that raised the hero sunk the man. Now Europe's laurels on their brows behold, but stained with blood or ill exchanged for gold. And see them broke with toils or sunk with ease, or infamous for plundered provinces. O wealth ill-fated, which no act of fame e'er taught to shine, or sanctified from shame! What greater bliss attends their close of life? Some greedy minion or imperious wife the trophied arches, storied halls invade, and haunt their slumbers in the pompous shade. Alas, not dazzled with their noontide ray, compute the morn and evening to the day, the whole amount of that enormous fame, a tale that blends their glory with their shame.